Alright, there we go. So now... Okay, let's do this. Alright, yeah, I need the... There we are. Let's see. Where is it? Okay. How did I label that? No, I don't want to get rid of that. Don't need these right now. Might need that later, but not now. There we go. Definitions. That's what I need. Okay. I was right the first time. All right. Let's keep it at that for now. All right. All right, let me check YouTube messages, because if people are sending messages, they're not showing up on the restream chat. So let me double check that. Nope, just looks like nobody's talking. Okay. Or at least on here it appears that nobody's talking. Hold on. Now it looks like there's a message above. Okay, for some reason I guess Restream's just not picking up people's messages. Ah, there we go. Now they're showing up. Okay. Just had to make sure it's working. Morning, y'all. So I tried, excuse me, I tried to make the text big enough so that you guys would be able to see what I'm doing here. I'll make it a little larger just because on the screen, the stream screen is probably still a little hard to see. All right. Yeah, it's about 6:50 a.m. for me right now, and I've got until about 8:20, and that's the absolute latest that I could stay on, because I still have to walk to work. Morning, zombie. Caesar ASMR, I guess that's one way of putting it. Yeah, I told you guys in the poll, this is probably not going to be an exciting stream, but you guys said that you would watch a live stream of me working on the meta series, so here you go. Well, Ethan, I was just talking about that yesterday. The short answer is that I kind of don't have that much inspiration for the meta series anymore. But I'm still working on it because I promised the fans a third season, and I just want to make good on the promise. But before, it's not so much that I would try to wait, that I would, look for inspiration. It's just that I would just do what felt natural instead of trying to do what seemed convenient for the plot. Like, I tried to treat the characters like, they were real people living in this virtual world, and I tried to give them, you know, all different kinds of logic and different kinds of reasoning, different kinds of goals, that sort of thing. I just tried to write in a way that felt natural. And that was sort of a way for me to try to be creative in finding a way to keep the story interesting. But as I said, you know, coming up in just a few days here, let's see, I think 6 days. Yeah, 6 days or so. The 2-year anniversary of the meta series is going to be coming up, and you know, after doing this for 2 years, I'm just like, you know, I'm kind of ready to do something else. That's why I've really been enjoying live streaming, which if you want more info on all of this, I talked about it in the video yesterday, so y'all can go check that out. Yes, I do actually code the episode and then record it. Question, when you finish the meta series, will you quit DDLC? I'm assuming you mean DDLC content altogether. Yes and no. I say that in the sense of if something comes up that looks genuinely interesting to me regarding DDLC, then I might, you know, make a video about it. Like, obviously, if and when Dan Salvato releases the second DDLC, then I think it's pretty much a given that I would at least take a look at it. In terms of writing more DDLC videos, I'm not gonna say that well, there's a chance that they're gonna completely stop, but there's always the possibility that I might decide to bring it back in some form. But yeah, after season 3, I'm thinking that I just want to do something else. And well, as I said, I explained it all in the video yesterday. I will say that what you guys are seeing me type right now is probably not going to be the word-for-word version of the final episode. Well, the final of the episode when it comes out, because I do go back and I, you know, change things. Right now I'm just trying to come up with, you know, a skeleton storyline for what happens in this video. The meta playlist. Alright, let's see. Yep, you're right. There's a video that's not supposed to be there. There we are. Avon, thank you for the resubscribe. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a popular, or this isn't really a playlist. It's just it's one video that's 3 hours long, but it's a popular one. Yeah, man. I'm glad that you were a part of it. And in the little bit of, well, I mean, we still have season 3 to finish, so there may or may not be. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about how this is going to go, but I may decide to include some voice acting sometime during the rest of season 3. So don't be so, you know, just be. Man, I'm still waking up. I'm trying to find the words. I'll put it to you this way. Don't rule out the possibility that there could be more voice acting before it's over. There might not be, but there could be. Sorry if my speaking skills seem to not be very good. I'm still waking up. I mentioned in the video yesterday, I'm doing this before work. Yeah. When I'm still waking up, a lot of my abilities seem to go south, but they say you're supposed to be more creative in the morning, so hopefully that'll translate into the script I'm writing. Hey, Rush. I'm still thinking about that, Cody. I mentioned in the video that since I'm not going to be live streaming on this channel and I'm not going to be making any more meta-series content, that I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing with this channel. I know that the heavy majority of my subscribers are probably subscribed to my channel because of the meta-series. But I'm trying to think of something that is creative, and it's something that I would want to do, and it's something that I think people would actually enjoy watching. Yes, Avon, I'm streaming this exclusively on YouTube since well, I mentioned in the video yesterday that most of my YouTube viewers don't seem to care about my live streams, and I think the same could be said the other way around, that a lot of my live stream subscribers, they're probably not there to see meta-series related content. Some of them probably are, but I think a good chunk of them probably aren't. Well, JR, that's, as I said, because I've kind of lost interest in the series. Oh, sorry, you said DDLC as a whole. I thought you said the meta-series. Yeah, I kind of feel you there. I feel like there's a possibility that Dan Salvato probably isn't going to release a second game. It seems like he's kind of feeling a lot of pressure to complete the game, and you know, people are just, they keep asking him, when's the next game coming out, when's the next game coming out, and he's pointed out on Twitter that you know, that's really discouraging for him, and he said he was going to have it out by 2018. It's now 2021 and it's still not out yet, so I think there's a possibility that he's probably not going to release it, which if that happens, I mean, I won't have any hard feelings about it, but it may still come out. But as more and more time goes on, it seems like it's probably not going to happen. At least from my perspective. But I could be wrong. It could still come out. Yeah. I think you're right. Maybe a second game shouldn't be released. And it does, yeah, it does seem kind of like a, you know, like a standalone thing. Rush, you've got a point, but Dan said that he does his best to try to avoid looking at mods because he said that he's the kind of person that would look at mods and say, oh, well, you know, Monica wouldn't say this right here. If I were writing this, I would have had her say this, and you know, that sort of thing. Instead of actually enjoying the mod, he is more of the kind of person to critique it. So he said that because of that, he stays away from mods. JR, probably not. This might shock you guys, but I'm actually not really a visual novel kind of guy. Like, I got into DDLC because because I was told that it was a horror game. You can go back and watch my original playthrough. I was told that it's a horror game disguised as, you know, a dating sim, and I thought that that was a pretty clever idea. So I decided to try it, and I thought the game was great. But in general, I'm not really much of a visual novel kind of guy. Nor am I really that much of a Japanese anime kind of guy. Like, I think that's one misconception that a lot of people have, that, you know, because I like DDLC, or, yeah, because I was interested in DDLC, that means that, you know, I enjoy other visual novels, or that, you know, I'm really into, you know, all of the obscure, rare anime shows, but I'm really not. In terms of anime, my foundation is pretty much like, you know, all the other normies, like, you know, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, that kind of stuff. And the thing about those is some people don't even consider those anime. No, I do not know Danganronpa. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Ace Attorney, well, I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of Ace Attorney. It looks like it's pretty good. Although I think Game Theory did a video explaining that Ace Attorney, in actuality, breaks a lot of laws doing what he does. Thomas the Tank Engine is better than anime. You see, that's a man of culture. An instance where I have to check spelling here. Oh, I got it right. JR asks, what will I mainly be streaming? For now, well, you've seen me doing EverQuest stuff and GTA Online stuff. Also, there's talk of some more DDLC for Red Dead Online coming out, so I might start with stuff like that. And then from there, just, you know, whatever happenings are online that interests me, whether it be games or some other activity. We might dive back a little bit, and if, you know, Among Us regains its relevancy, then we might do a little bit of that. And also, if we can get a decent number of players that would be willing to join voice chat for Among Us. But the Among Us streams, for me, they're hit and miss. But when the game was popular, people seem to really like them. So for now, stuff like that. And then as I figure out what I'm going to be doing with the Cesar Madrazo channel, we'll, you know, we'll see. Any tips on convincing super strict parents to buy their son GTA 5? Well, that would depend on your age and whether or not you're receiving allowance and what kind of social life you have. If you give me those kinds of details, then I can give you some tips. For example, if you're a teenager that makes your own money, then Rush says you're a good writer. Perhaps creating something totally new on your own would be an interesting idea. I write and create my own comics, for example. Got my first $50 on Patreon yesterday. That's cool. Yeah, I thought about doing something like that, and you know, it's a possibility. I think I actually mentioned before, well, I don't think I mentioned it publicly, but I think I was having a conversation with Illegal on Discord, and I mentioned that at some point I could see myself maybe writing something completely original, but we'll have to see. Original or not, whatever you write will be inspirational without a doubt. You see, Flames, that's a road that I kind of want to go down. I want to do something that will be inspirational to other people because I enjoy making that sort of stuff. Like, you know, I've made those short videos of taking quotes from Jocko Willink and Jordan Peterson, and just quotes from other people you can find throughout the meta series, because you know that is something that I think is kind of being neglected these days. I don't want to get too much into this because it would get borderline political, and that's not really something that I want on my channel. But I do feel like having positive inspiration is something that is scarce these days. But I think that people who are in a position to inspire people the right way, you don't see that many of them doing that. And so with the little bit of a platform that I do have, you know, I get messages from people that are going through all kinds of troubles. And on my Discord server, you can see messages of people talking about, you know, what they're going through. And one thing that I think is really cool that has been created through all of this is that there's a community of people that are willing to give each other advice on how to get through some pretty difficult situations. And the videos that I've made where the goal was to inspire people, whenever I see messages from people saying that they felt inspired by something that I made, or they felt motivated, or, you know, reinvigorated in some way, then, you know, I think that's awesome. And so that is something that whatever I do with this channel, I want that to be included in whatever it is that I'm doing in some form. inspiration doesn't have to be a direct thing, because I think most people, they come to YouTube for entertainment, so I want it to be entertaining. But I do want, you know, inspiration to be a part of it. So I'm glad that you feel that way. See you, Flames. Yeah, JR, I feel you there. I didn't really pay that much attention to Among Us memes, but it did look like that whole thing was going to get stale pretty quickly, just because, I mean, you know, how many Among Us memes can you make? I think, yeah, Jules Conroy pointed out in one of his live streams that the only real thing that you can make of an Among Us meme is, you know, like, it's like, haha, OMG, red is sus. And, you know, how many jokes can you make out of that? Like, not really that many before it starts to get old. Well, Rush, I mentioned before that just for my own advancement here in Korea, I may do a podcast or something like that, but I feel like that would be more fit for my vlog channel than this channel, so we'll see. Resident Evil Village? I'd have to look more into it to see if I would get it, but maybe. Nitro, yes. Write the story first, then I add all the scenes, the music, the positions, all of that. Do I plan on making more vlogs after the pandemic is over? Probably. I think that's another thing that I would probably do while I'm figuring out what to do with the Caesar Madrazo channel. Well, I mean, if I was going to write a book, then probably the only degree that I would show it online is that I would advertise it. Other than that, you know, I'd try to get it published, I suppose. But writing a book isn't really something that I'm considering, at least not now. Rush, I kind of feel like the motivations, like her motivations are kind of already spelled out throughout the series. That's probably not a route that I would go. I would want to make something where all of the characters have some kind of satisfying ending. It doesn't necessarily have to be a happy ending, but at least all of the loose ends for all of the characters are tied up, or at least explained in some way. Still probably not Rush. Did it die in 2018? I don't think it died in 2018 because there was all the hype for Salvato's second game. I would say it probably died in 2020. Or if it didn't die in 2020, then it was, like, clinging to life. Like, desperately clinging to life in 2020. Like, I think some people still do a little bit of DDLC stuff here and there, but, well, the whole reason that I'm doing this stream right now is, well, the video that I made yesterday explains why I'm doing all this. What's my job? I'm an English teacher in Korea. You just came from the Monica After Story video? Man. You know, I anticipated that was probably going to be my first video to ever hit 100,000 views. But, you know, as I said, DDLC, the hype is kind of, or the viewership is kind of dying down, so maybe not. But it did get a lot of views. Like, what would it get? Almost 70,000? Have I met any DPRK defectors in real life yet? I had a brief conversation with one, but I actually didn't know that they were a DPRK defector until later on when somebody told me. No, I teach at 2 middle schools right now. 2 public middle schools. Well, to be an English teacher, you actually don't need to know that much, I think, of Korean or Japanese in order to work there. If you just look online, then you can find pretty easily. You can find the institution that Korea uses to hire foreign teachers. But I think you would have a hard time getting a position right now just because of the coronavirus. Obviously, in order to survive in Korea, you want to, at least know the basics of the language. But for actually teaching the classes, they expect you to speak English pretty much the entire time. Because, well, the students are there to learn English from you. So they want you to speak English. Supposing you were very good at speaking Korean and the kids learned that you're very good at speaking Korean, then, well, they're not going to speak to you in English. They're going to speak to you in Korean. And so the amount of English that they're speaking is going to be a lot lower. So in a way, I think that for teaching, they would actually prefer it if you didn't know that much Korean. Yeah, Avon, we'll see. Hey, Joshua. Hey, Nataraj. Do you have to have Korean teaching qualifications? Here in Russia, I'm thinking about teaching English too, since I'm Welsh, but most places go like 3 years experience and papers, please. Oh yeah, there's a lot of paperwork that you have to go through in order to teach in Korea. I actually had a bit of an advantage because I went to college for education. It was music education, but it was still education. So I had a teaching degree, I had a teaching license, and I had a few years of teaching experience before I applied to teach in Korea. And because of that, I did have a lot of the paperwork that I needed already. If you don't have any of that, then you would need to go through some teaching training. You would have to take like a teacher education course and get your certificate for that. And then, well, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you have to go through that it took me about like 6-7 months to get everything that I needed. But honestly, that is by far the hardest part about the whole ordeal. Like once you're in, like it's smooth sailing from there. Like I have a pretty awesome life here. Raise, how old am I? Well, my international age is 28. I'm almost 29, and my Korean age is 30. Yeah, age works differently in Korea than most other countries. Actually, I think all other countries at this point. They still go by the really, really old Chinese system of age, the one that even China doesn't use anymore, where when you're born, you're 1 year old, and you go up another year every January 1st instead of on your birthday. People still have birthdays, but yeah, like your actual Korean age doesn't go up until January 1st every year. And yeah, when you're born, you're already 1 year old under that system. Which means if you're born December 30th and you wait 2 days, then even though you're 2 days old, you're already 2 years old under the Korean age system. That's why even Koreans admit that it's a pretty flawed system, and they don't really understand why they still use it. But I guess it's kind of like, America with the imperial unit system. It's just, we've been using it for so long that we don't really feel comfortable getting rid of it. So they just keep on using it. But yeah, my Korean age is 30. And in 15 days, I'll be 29. Internationally, I'll be 29. Korean age, I'll still be 30. To figure out your Korean age, all you have to do is first ask yourself, has your birthday happened this year yet? If the answer is yes, then take your real age and add 1 year. And if your birthday has not happened yet, then take your real age and add 2 years. And that's how you get your Korean age. In the UK, the first floor is the ground floor, and first floor is what Russians would consider to be the second floor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the same way with the US. Like, the first floor in America is, well, yeah, it's the bottom floor, the ground floor. But yeah, in the UK, they refer to what we would call the second floor as the first floor. That actually, yeah, there have been a few times where I got really confused by that. I can't remember an instance there was an instance in particular where they were telling me to go to what I know as the second floor, but they kept saying the first floor, and so I was just staying on the ground floor, and I was like, well, I can't find Yeah, I have jazz playing in the background. It's like, well, I can't find what I'm looking for. And then I learned, oh, by first floor, they meant second floor. Yeah, my light here is going dead, so I'm gonna look a little... Actually, hold on. I can just turn on the apartment lights. Would that be a good idea, or would that make me look even darker here? That helped a little bit, maybe. I'm gonna be done here pretty soon anyway, because it's 8:03 now, and I think I mentioned that I had until like 8:15 because I still had to walk to work. Hey, Seth. I'm doing all right, Seth. Just doing some script writing, like I said I was going to do yesterday. And we're probably going to be done here in about 5 to 10 minutes because I do have to go to work. But I'm doing all right. Hey, Metro. Hey, we got 100 messages. That's cool. Madrazo in Spanish is punch. I think, well, I don't think that's a proper translation. It's probably a conjugated form of the word punch, but I don't think it's a direct translation of the word punch. I don't know, Rush. Whenever it's finished, I guess. Yeah, I know, but the infinitive unconjugated form of Spanish verbs usually end in ER or IR or AR. And so Madrazo, I don't think that that's a direct, it can't be a direct translation to any verb. It might be a weirdly conjugated version because that doesn't seem like any kind of Spanish conjugation that I've ever seen. So it might be a weirdly conjugated version of the verb punch, but I don't think that's a direct translation. Metro, there's probably going to be a few episodes. Like, I'm going to say at minimum there's going to be 3, but in all likelihood there's going to be more. A substantive? I've never heard of a substantive before. No, Rush, I haven't seen that. All right, guys, it's 8:15, so I think I'm going to stop here. We went for about an hour and a half, but I need to finish getting ready for work. And, well, I'm thinking about doing a stream later on today after work on the archive channel. Those of you that saw my video yesterday saw that I'm going to be doing live streams on the Cesar Madrazo livestream archive channel from now on. So I may or may not stream today, but for now I am done. I have to, finish getting ready for work and head on over there. So thank you guys for joining me this morning. Looks like we got a pretty good amount of script written in. Some of it's probably going to change when I go back and rewrite it. But, yeah, until, well, I mean, I would say until next time, but I mentioned that this is going to be the last stream on this channel for a while. But if I see you on the other channel, or if I see you on Twitch or on DLive, then I will say until next time, I'm Cesar Madrazo, and I'm out.